In my previous class, I did the consequences of end osmosis and exosmosis and related factors like plasmolysis, deplasmolysis, turgidity, turgor pressure, everything I have discussed. Now, today I am going to discuss two antagonistic forces, means two forces acting in a cell, clear, in opposite direction. Now, in a turgid cell, you know what is a turgid cell? A turgid cell is a cell in which the protoplasm is increased in volume due to endosmosis. So, when the volume of the protoplasm increases, clear, it tends to expand outward. And this this tendency of outward expansion of the protoplasm of the turgid cell apply a force or a pressure onto the cell wall, which is known as turgor pressure. Clear? So, a turgid cell is a cell, clear, which has an extra amount of water in its protoplasm, clear, which it gains after the process of endosmosis. Means if a cell is kept in a hypotonic solution, it absorbs sufficient amount of water or solvent which add to its protoplasm and increases the volume of the protoplasm. As a result of which this increasing volume of the protoplasm of the turgid cell tend to move outward, clear, and thus applies a force or a pressure onto the cell wall in outward direction. This is called turgor pressure. So, the turgor pressure is an internal pressure of the cell which is applied to the cell wall, clear, by the protoplasm of the turgid cell. Okay? Now, if there is no equal pressure to resist this turgor pressure, then due to excessive force from within, the cell may burst. But cell normally does not burst. Why? Because there is an opposing force or pressure, clear, act onto this cell wall by the cell wall itself. Remember, cell wall is non-living, it is a rigid layer which surrounds the cell wall. So, this rigid cell wall applies an equal and opposing pressure onto the protoplasm of the turgid cell. Clear? So, it acts in opposite direction as compared to turgor pressure. So, turgor pressure acts in outward direction, clear, whereas wall pressure is an opposing pressure which act in inward direction. Clear? These two pressures are just balanced by each other to maintain the shape of the cell. So, wall pressure is a mechanical force applied by the cell wall of the living cell to oppose the turgor pressure and thereby prevent the bursting of the cell and help in maintaining the shape of the cell. Application of turgor pressure in plants. Now, you know that when a dry seed is soaked in water, it absorbs water and its embryo become active and it start producing a new plant known as seedling. Clear? Now, the seedling has two parts. One is a radicle which grows downward into the soil and from the root system. Clear? So, to penetrate through the soil, the growing radicle has to apply a force. Clear? This force is in fact is the force produced by the turgid cell, clear, present in the growing radicle. So, if the cells in the growing radicle are not turgid, clear, the root will or the radicle will not be able to grow downward penetrating the soil. Okay? So, the cells of the radicle, growing radicle must be turgid so that it can develop a turgor pressure and this turgor pressure help the radicle to penetrate through the soil and go deep into the soil. Clear? Second, you must have noticed that sometimes the banyan tree or the peepal tree grows on the rocks or on the walls of the building. Clear? And in the process of growth, it causes the cracking of the wall, clear, or the cracking of the rocks. So for cracking a wall or rocks, a lot of force is required. This force also is developed in the growing root as a result of turgidity in the cells of the root. Clear? So the cells of the growing root has sufficient amount of water, they develop turgor pressure, and the collective turgor pressure of a number of cells of the root, clear, causes a lot of force which causes the cracking of the wall. Clear? You know touch me not plant, is not it? Touch me not plant, the scientific name of which is Mimosa pudica. All right? You know that if any part of the leaflet of this touch me not plant is disturbed, the leaves, clear, start folding. Clear? This is due to the change in turgidity. Normally, if the leaf is not disturbed, then it remains fully stretched. Why? Because all the cells of the leaf remain turgid. Clear? And they are fully filled with water, so the cells of the leaflets are turgid. So the leaves remain stretched. Now, if the leaf are disturbed, then water, certain amount of water from all the living cells of the leaf start moving backward towards the petiole, and at the base of the petiole there is a swollen bulb-like structure which is known as pulvinus. So all the water moves back, clear, from the leaflet to the pulvinus passing through the midrib, and that causes the loss in turgidity of the cells present in the leaflet, as a result of which the leaflet folds. Clear? Soon after, the water return back to the cells of the leaflet from the pulvinus, the cells of the leaf again become turgid and the leaves get fully stretched. Clear? So these are certain common observation, clear, for the use of the turgor pressure in plants. Now come to another process, diffusion. All right. We have done osmosis, and in osmosis, you know, there is movement of the solvent molecule from the region of the higher concentration of the solvent molecule to the region of the lower concentration of the solvent molecule. That is from the region of a hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution through a semi-permeable membrane. So what is important in osmosis? In osmosis, movement of the solvent molecule takes place. Clear? Movement of the solvent molecule takes place in the process of osmosis. And the presence of a semi-permeable membrane is essential in the process of osmosis. Now, diffusion. This is another process, another physical process, which brings about the movement of the solute molecules. Clear? Solute molecules. And as I mentioned in my previous class, that solute and solvent are relative terms. Clear? Solute and solvent are relative term. In a mixture, the component which is present in lesser amount is considered as solute, and the component which is present in greater amount is considered as solvent. So here in diffusion, there is movement of the solute molecule from a region of their higher concentration, means higher concentration of solute molecule, to the lower concentration of solute molecule. Clear? Either in the presence of a membrane or free movement without the presence of any membrane. I am giving you one example. Clear? You use the incense stick or agarbatti at your home. Clear? If you burn an agarbatti or incense stick in one of the room of your home, soon the fragrance spread in all the rooms of the home. This is the best example of diffusion. Clear? What happens here? Suppose this is the incense stick. Clear? From the burning head of the incense stick, you can easily see the smokes are rising. Clear? A white streak of smoke you can easily make out rising from the burning head of the incense stick. But as this streak of smoke rises up, it slowly spreads, start becoming fade, and ultimately at a certain height it disappears. Clear? So what happens? The burning head of the incense stick is producing a large number of smoke particles at a time. And when all these smoke particles, clear, are released from the burning head of this incense stick, clear, they move together. Alright? And thereby makes a white line or white streak. Alright? So suppose this is a room. This room is filled with air. Clear? So large number of air molecules are present in this room. So the air molecules in this room will be considered as the solvent molecule, and the smoke molecules or the smoke particles which are produced from the burning head of the incense stick are very less in number. So they will be considered as solute molecules. Clear? So now these solute molecules will move through the molecules of the air and reach to each and every corner of this room and also the neighboring room. So this is the process of diffusion. So in the process of diffusion, there is either free movement of the molecules of solute, free means without the presence of any membrane, or maybe in some cases the membrane, like semi-permeable membrane, are present. So solute, free movement of the solute molecules, clear, from the region of the higher concentration of solute molecule to the region of the lower concentration of solute molecule. This is the process of diffusion. Clear? Now,